I believe so.
Cool.
In
place.
Yeah. All right, patrons. We'll see you on the other side. All right, we'll save them. Go over here. I'll start recording that. Okay, here we go, everybody.
Wow. Starting show 9/11 or starting the 9/11 show at 9:11 a.m.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Woo.
I don't like that. All right, here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Without another soul to be found, the curtain rose on a death match.
The Glass Donkey.
The morning stream into daring rescue action.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TMS. It is Wednesday, September 11th, 2019. I'm Scott Johnson. He's Brian Ibbett. Hi, good morning.
Hello, Scott Johnson.
Somber day, a little bit, you know.
It is. You know, you can't say September 11th without thinking of it. You know, you can't say, oh, what day is that? What day are you going to go see the movie? Oh, September 11th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In some ways, it annoys me because it means that the effect was as desired, right? They completely destroyed that day forever.
Exactly.
So now when you say those words or that number, even when you're referring to like the emergency phone service, it feels like you're invoking this thing that happened. It's tricky.
Well, you don't dial 911, you dial 911.
Right. But
you still, when you read it, you see it as 911.
I read it as that every time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll dial 9-11. No, I won't do that. There's no hyphen key on the
91-1. Hey, oh my God, he can't breathe. Dial 91-1.
So there's that. So that's a big haunting cloud over everything, and that's why it's good that we exist, because we come in here to have the funs and the good times on the radio here, the internet radio.
Yeah.
And we're going to do that for you today. So we hope you guys are strapped in and ready to go. How'd your day go yesterday? What happened to you?
It was a good day. Did a lot of freelance, but then wrapped up the day by riding my bike to Puzzle Pint. So once a month, I talk about this every month, but we do this thing called Puzzle Pint with Clark and Nikki Moore, Tadpoolers and friends here in Denver.
Oh, Clark was just on the show as a contestant.
He was the one on yesterday, exactly.
Yeah.
And it is that puzzling thing where it's very puzzling, Scott. But it's like a trivia pub night. Except instead of trivia questions, you're given sheets of paper with quizzes on them or with puzzles on them.
Sure.
And you solve those puzzles. So it was just the three of us. It was me, Tina, and Clark last night. No Nikki and no Uncle George. And I think the brain power, I think we need that extra mind or two to solve these, because we were just obliterated by this set of puzzles last night. Number one, it took us 2 hours to get through the puzzle, and we needed hints on, I think, 3 out of the 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's never happened before. Usually maybe we need a hint on one of them, need a nudge, but usually we're solving them within 90 minutes, maybe even an hour. But holy cow, it was a rough night.
Yeah.
We all felt so defeated.
Is it just the kind of puzzles they do are the problem? Well, not the problem, but it just depends on the night, right? Like you're going to come in there some
nights.
nights.
Click with them or not.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you can look at one of these things and figure out, because they're always very vague about what you're supposed to do. Right. You know, there was one last night where we had a 4x4 grid of numbers, 1 through 4 that were scattered all through the grid. We had to cut out that piece of paper and then cut it so that it was still all together, but there were 3 vertical slits between columns 1, 2, and 3, so that you could fold those all around and get different combination of those numbers.
Whoa.
And the trick was to get all 4 1s, and then all 4 2s, all 4 3s, and all 4 4s. And when you completed them, there were other hexadecimal numbers that would be created by like little gray numbers in the corners of those. So you'd then use those hexadecimal numbers to look up letters and then put the letters into a set of spaces. And boy, figure out the number 1, number 2 set, no problem. But 3 and 4 just completely floored us, and we actually had to find a GIF online of this exact puzzle and how you solve it.
A GIF? That's cool.
There's a GIF. Yes. All right. There's like a GIF of. Are those called? I don't know if they're called ASCII puzzles. Are they called ASCII puzzles?
Might be. Is it all just old ASCII character type stuff?
No, because it's like they look like dice.
I see. Icor says yeah, it is an ASCII puzzle, but I don't know how we'd know that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's my thing that I've learned when you talk about Puzzled Pint. Here's what I've learned.
Yes.
I'd be useless there. Useless.
Well, you'd think.
My brain doesn't work this way. I'm terrible at this sort of stuff. It is really not my forte at all. It's something I think that can be learned and practiced, and you can certainly get good at it. But right. I have no natural tendency toward it. I think I would be a huge problem for any team I was on. It's my thinking.
It's funny you think that that's the case, but really, you'd be surprised at how you're able to adapt once you kind of get in the flow. And they give you a warm-up puzzle that isn't part of your time. You don't start time until after you complete the warm-up puzzle, and you start on the real puzzle number 1. Mm-hmm. And that one kind of warms you up to what you're going to be doing. And once you do that, you'd be surprised at how it's like, oh yeah, I kind of see what we're supposed to do in this one. We're supposed to translate this into Morse code, or we're supposed to turn this into, figure out the Braille. We made dice last night. So another one of the puzzles we had 2 puzzles where we had to cut stuff out last night. Mm-hmm. Another one was another grid, and it had pictures of Clint Eastwood as Dirty Harry, just his face scattered all throughout. Okay. And then on some of them, you saw the back of his head. And we figured out that we needed to, it kind of told us that you need to cut out 3 shapes, identical congruent shapes out of that grid, and then make them into dice. And then once you did, we figured out, okay, well, blind, Dirty Harry, we hold up the cubes and look at the faces and make Braille patterns from the Clint Eastwood faces that are looking at us and the backs of the Clint Eastwood heads that weren't looking at us.
Wow.
It sounds complicated, but really, once we did that, man, we flew through that one. That one was a piece of cake.
Not so bad. Yeah. Well, I admire it. It's a skill set I wish I had.
I wish it was in Utah, because I think you and Corinne and Jason and Kim and Carter and
Carter would love it. She loves this kind of stuff.
Carter would love it. You guys would all love it. And I think the fun that you have just hanging out there and trying to figure it out is the best part of it.
Speaking of Carter, I was just handed this by her manager, Taylor, who is her boss now. She's running a Patreon, and so I just got handed their first this month's goodie bag, which includes some really rad art, a sticker, and a pin. And I think
nice.
I think this is what all her initial backers are getting this month. So
That's
looks really
cool.
good. And it's all in a nice
fun
little
package.
Stuff. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Jeannie put the link in there if you guys are interested in it. But love this stuff. She's killing it right now. Cool. All right, well, there you go. Puzzled Pints, Patreons, and puzzles. Welcome.
Yes.
To the morning stream. All right, we're gonna get Brian Dunaway in here and have some fun. See if we can't give away some prizes. It is Wednesday after all, so that's what we do.
Yes.
I just remembered I got to get the phones open. Let me do that real quick. Oh! I hear a microphone rustle.
I hear. Yes.
I hear it as well. It's freaking me out. Well, hello, Brian. Hello.
It's like he's pulling his microphone out of his pants.
Out of his pants. Out of his unit.
Can you see me? Oh, you can just hear it. Okay. So yeah, not pants.
Yeah.
Not pants. No.
It's your pants or phone.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, my pants are phone.
We hear nothing from you. It was my.
I try to keep my mic warm. This is how it is.
Sure, it operates better that way.
Yeah.
Is this mic hot? Hot.
Yeah. Hot is good. Are you you're at work, right? You're at work right now?
Am I? Where are you? Where are we at now?
We're also
on this planet.
Yeah,
this planet we call Earth.
Yeah. And you're all done with any kind of residual effects of any kind of hurricane-y business? You're good? No problems?
I never even saw a day of hurricane.
Wow. Did you get any rain, though?
Where I live at, nothing. It got kind of hot.
Really?
It got hot? Yeah. Oh, weird. All right. You are kind of hot. That's the truth. Here's this. All right, we're going to play Battle Royale, and we're going to take a phone call. We got one already calling in early here. That's partly because Jeannie's so efficient about getting the number out there and making sure people know about it. But you should, people at home should write this down, 801-471-0462, so that you can be Johnny on the spot, just like this listener. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, it's Bobby from South Carolina, GM Funkytown in the chat room.
Nice.
Oh.
General manager of all of Funkytown. That's fantastic. It's good to have you here.
That's right.
Thanks for being here. And let's see. We should do like a Alex Trebek question, Brian. What can we ask our contestant? Something about their life.
Well, Bobby, are you part of any other podcasts right now?
I think I might be on a competition podcast that's coming soon.
All right. Wait, is Bobby, you the one that did a little bit of stand-up or something, and now you're mostly right?
Bobby did a sitcom, I believe.
Oh, that's the one. Okay. I like Bobby already. Bobby is. I don't like to pick favors before we've even seen the competition, but I already think he's got the chops. So going to be a tight year. It's going to be a competitive time. It is, yeah. In the competition this year. Anyway, Bobby, it's good to have you here. I'm going to hand over the mic to Brian. He will explain what today's prizes are and how you might win them. Brian?
That's correct, Scott. I'm going to be giving Scott and Brian Dunaway a topic. They're going to go back and forth giving me answers that fit that topic. If one of them gives a wrong answer, a repeated answer, or they take too long to come up with an answer, well, by golly, the win is going to go to the other player, don't you know? Your job, Bobby, is to predict who's going to come out on top based on the topic. Today, you're playing for a pair of CDs from Dizzy Box 9 and Trent Selva, both artists that we've played here as Indie in the Middle. They were so excited about all the exposure and people discovering their music that they sent me a big box of CDs to give away. So I'm going to be giving away a couple CDs for a few weeks. And something to do while you listen to that great music, well, playing a Steam game, of course. We've got Duskers on Steam, courtesy of Wesley.
Oh.
Get off the bridge.
Get off the bridge, Wesley, you piece of shit.
That's right.
That's awesome. Nice package.
Yeah. It is a nice
look at that package. That's
It's a
nice.
sweet package. But before you can play the game, we need to give the boys their topic. You guys, it's time to come out and play way back in February 2013. The three of us, along with Randy Deluxe, watched the movie The Warriors for Film Sack.
Oh, yeah.
There were 22 gangs named in that movie. I want to know how many of those gangs you can name.
Holy!
Do they have to be? Do they have to be their official names or just these
the description
guys
of what they look like?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be relatively.
You're gonna be loosey
generous.
goosey.
I'm gonna be a little bit loosey goosey on this.
Okay. All right.
Now, there were 22 ones that were shown in the movie. However, the script actually had 67 more. If you come up with any of the 67 gangs that weren't shown in the movie,
Moses,
I'll basically give you a bye on your next answer.
Okay. All right. I'm excited about this one. This could be fun.
Yeah.
Who gave us this? Did you come up with it?
This was given to us. Oh, by the way, this was given to us by Sandra in Helsinki, Finland, who began her email. Battle Royale has swiftly become my favorite portion of the show, and I can't help but ponder on subjects. So I thought I'd share one with you in case you needed some in the future. She actually gave me quite a few that we're going to be using. There's some great ones in here.
That's super great.
Big thanks,
Yeah.
Sandra in Helsinki, Finland.
Yeah, they're all, they're transparent over there. You can see their hearts beat like baby fish.
That's right.
All right. What's the deal here? Oh, I guess you got to ask.
So
our
we got to
contestant.
find out. Yeah, Bobby's got to tell us who he thinks is going to win and who he wants to go first.
I have so little context for making a decision here. I've never even seen this movie. I have no idea. But I think based on the general statistics of how the show goes, I don't know what that means. I'm going to go with Scott to win, and let's change it up and have Scott go first too.
Oh, all right. We hardly ever do that. This is
look
great.
at that!
Yeah, I like this. Okay.
I think that's a smart strategy, especially. Yeah, I think it's a smart strategy.
I do too. All right,
Yes.
the one that I know immediately off the bat is the Baseball Furies. The baseball, I think that's the
Oh.
name. The baseball team looking baseball guys.
They are. Yep.
Okay.
Little zombie baseball people. The Baseball Furies is indeed a gang in the Warriors.
It's so stupid.
Right.
So
Brian.
stupid.
Totally stupid. I was going to go with the Warriors.
There you
because
go.
it's
That's
the
what I
name
thought.
of the dang
That's what I thought
movie.
for sure. Scott was gonna get out of the way first. The
I never,
Warriors.
you know what? I never.
Whatever.
The thing is, I never think of them as a gang because they're not really themed like the rest of them. So I never think
Right.
of them as one of those gangs. It's really a weird thing. All right. So you said
Yeah.
the Warriors.
That's right.
The Hi-Hats, I remember.
Oh.
Hi hats, very good. Yeah, the
Oh,
hi
that's good.
hats were. I'm trying to find a photo of the hi hats.
I don't remember
What
what
They
were
wear
there?
symbols. They wear symbols on their heads, right?
The symbols like crash symbols.
Yeah,
Yes,
and that the hi hat is that what that is?
I think that's it. Yep.
That's not what they wore.
Dun,
Dun,
I don't have a photo. I don't have a photo of the hi hats,
No.
but
All right. Fine.
but indeed the hi hats were a gang in the
Okay.
movie.
Dunaway. It's on you now.
I'm gonna go with the Warriors, but they always go against, and I can never say this right, so I'm gonna butcher it, but it's like the Gramercy Riffs or the Grandma Cry Riffs.
You got it. The Gramercy
They're the-
Riffs.
That's
Yeah,
it.
The Gramercy Riffs. This was the kind
And
of
I'm
the
done.
the big rival gang, and I'm trying to remember were they were like all in orange and black if I remember correctly.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Orange was the new black for them. All right. Let's see.
That's right, exactly.
I remember the Moonrunners. The Moonrunners.
The Moonrunners. Well done. Yes.
I don't even remember what they look like. I just remember the name. Moonrunner.
Moonrunners. Very good.
Moonrunner. It's an old song. All right.
Gonna go with
Oh, the hi-hats were. I'm sorry. The hi-hats were mimes, by the way.
Oh,
Oh,
they
I
were?
forgot that the hi-hats were
makes
mimes.
sense.
Yes.
That makes
Oh.
sense.
Okay. Now I remember.
Yes.
I gotta tread carefully here, but I
Mimes.
think
A gang of mimes. How stupid is
I know.
that?
I know. It's like let's trap them in invisible boxes. Oh no, they can't get out. Run!
Stupid.
Right?
So
Here, hold
stupid.
this rope.
So dumb.
Watch out for this wind. All right, go ahead.
all right. So is it my turn?
Yeah.
It's your turn, Brian. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm sitting on the floor now. This is. I think. Well, I want to say it in the right way. There's only one more. Well, actually, I know two. I think I know two, but I don't know their names. I think one of them makes me think. Is it? It's the Lizzies, right? Because it's.
The Lizzies.
But it's called. But it's supposed to refer to something else, right? Isn't that like an old
No.
term? Isn't that like an old term for butch-looking
Oh.
women gang or something like that? Or is that
If
just?
it is, I don't know. I just know that they
Or
were.
maybe I just thought there was.
Yeah, they're just a
butch-looking
group of
woman
women.
gang. I love it. All right.
Right.
Yes. Yep, they are just an all-female gang, and I can't see. I mean, that's really their theme. It's just all
Okay,
women.
good. Okay.
They're like the go-go's of the gang world.
Old timey butch-looking woman gang. All right. That's nice job. Nice pulling that one out. I remember there was an attempt to have a gang that were like punky looking, and I want to say they were called. They had like mohawks and stuff, and they were called the Punkers. The Punkers.
This is where I play the fuzzy logic game, or the fuzzy, how much do I allow?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you've got it. They're the punks.
Oh,
They're
not
just
what did I say?
punks.
Punker. Oh, Punkers isn't right.
Punkers.
Punkers.
Yeah. But they didn't have mohawks. They wore denim overalls with rugby shirts.
Oh, really?
That was their theme. They dressed more like Punky Brewster than like a punk rocker.
They were so ahead of their time. It was before Punky Brewster
right.
even existed. That's
That's
amazing.
right. They dressed like Chucky from.
Oh my! I remembered there were punk types in there. Maybe they had a different name for the group then. I could have sworn they were like mohawky, pierced nose looking pink hair people. I might be mixing it up with another
I
movie.
thought there
I'm
was
looking
two. No,
through
I'm
to
thinking of that
see-
too. I'm almost positive there was maybe
Well,
I'm thinking of another movie.
That
Yeah.
or there was another. Well,
I remember the same, but
you know
that may
the
be
whole-
just like one of those
The
things.
theme gang thing is something we always pay attention to on Film Sack. Like lots of movies,
Right.
especially from the '80s, had a theme gang or a gang that was like this weird combo of like, here are the white parts of the gang and the black guys in the gang and the Hispanic
Right.
guy. Like they mixed everybody
Hispanic
in,
gang, yeah.
and their clothes were like big sashes hanging off their waist and shitty stuff like that. So I probably have just mixed it up with some other
Right.
gang, the ultimate
Maybe,
gang movie,
yep.
and I've mixed it up. Anyway, all right, Brian, you got it's in your corner. You said you had one more.
Okay, well, I knew 3 that I felt confident, and then here goes the
The fourth
the
one?
wild pitches. Actually, I
Yeah.
remember the baseball gang, but Scott already took that one. I remember
Yep.
the mime game. I would have just called them the mime
The
gang.
mimes. Yeah.
The mimes, the in a box gang.
Mm.
I want to call them either they're either like the Lost Boys or the Street Urchins. What are they're kind of like they don't have a home. They're street kids, which kind of gangs are, I guess. I'm gonna say they've called them the Lost Boys. It just feels right for some reason.
And that's where the game comes to an end.
Ah, you probably were
think I
talking
know-
about the wait, I just had it. What's another word for you don't have a family. You don't have a home.
Yeah,
You're a little
that's what I
kid
said, Street Urchins.
and you get raised
bum gang.
You bum gang, you get raised in a
Kids.
thing.
More thinking like don't have parents.
Yeah, don't have parents.
Oh, orphans.
The
Yeah,
orphans.
that's it.
Oh,
The
come
orphans.
on.
That's it.
There's also, but you also
That's
might
the
have
name
been
of the
thinking the
gang?
Jones. You might have been thinking the Jones Street Boys because
No,
you
there we
came
go.
up with Street and Lost Boys. Jones Street Boys is another one. The other ones you could have said: the Boppers, the Boyle Avenue Runners, the Destroyers,
Boppers.
the Electric Eliminators, the
Yeah.
Gladiators, the Hurricanes,
Oh, the gladiators.
the Panzers, the Rogues, the Saracens, Satan's Mothers, the Savage Huns,
Satan's
Turnbull ACs, and the Van Cortlandt Rangers.
I'm sorry. Did you
When you-
say the Satan's mothers? Did I hear that?
Yes, the Satan's Mothers.
I don't remember that. at
Was that
all.
was that also a girl gang?
It was
Was
the
that
only gang that I'm seeing that actually had their names printed on the backs of their jackets.
See, when we started this contest, I felt very confident. I'm like, oh yeah, I know a whole bunch of them. And then the more I thought about them, I'm like, no, I don't.
Did
The,
I say Savage Nuns? I meant Savage Huns.
I
Savage Huns.
thought you
That
said
makes
nuns
sense.
too, but I also would have loved to have seen
The
an
Savage
all nun
Nuns,
gang.
easy. Oh, Electrical Eliminators had their names on their jackets too.
Oh, they did. They had
They
money.
wore yellow satin jackets.
Oh, let me pull the chat back up. There they are. So I don't remember most of those, but and also strategically correct
Did they
choice,
mention
Bobby.
them in the movie? Because I don't remember them. Did you have to read the book or something?
Is there a
Or
book?
the script?
What to get all their names? Those are the ones that
Yeah.
are actually mentioned and shown in the movie. There is a list of like 67 that I have. Stuff
Wow.
like the E Street Shufflers, the Charlemagnes, the Amsterdam All Stars, the
Holy
nickel
crap.
Steaks,
Nickel
the,
steaks.
the nickel steaks.
Oh, like
spelled
food? Like you'd buy a steak?
like food. Spelled STEAKS.
Oh my gosh!
I want
never...
us to revisit this
The
topic. in, like,
xenophobes,
the xenophobes.
Hey, that's
the
the only.
xylophones,
That's the only actual gang we have left in the world is a bunch of xenophobes. That's pretty good.
the a couple of great ones. The magicians.
magicians.
Their costumes are pretty
Oh.
easy to predict.
I could have just pulled that out of a hat. Oh.
The meat packers.
Yeah, they always had a vote at the table. Those meat
The
packers.
Speedwagons, the Terriers. There was a gang in the script called the Terriers.
There was really a team. Wait, that's the Speedwagons. What the
The
hell's
Speedwagons.
What the hell's a
Yes.
Speedwagon other than REO Speedwagon?
I don't know. Ask REO.
Speedwagon is it's a
Fast
armored car.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
okay.
an armored car.
An armored car. Interesting.
I believe an armored car is originally the Speedwagon.
Okay. That's so dumb.
The Youngbloods, the Zodiacs.
Wow.
Bloods. Let's revisit this in 6 months and let's just see if
Sure.
me and
See how
Scott
many of them
have
you retain?
how many me and Scott research between now and then. Just randomly 6 months from now, just well, guess what, guys? Time for a pop quiz.
Yep. That movie's ripe for a remake, and I know a lot of people would say blasphemy to that, but I'm saying you could do a way better job now and still go crazy with like this whole city is nothing but all these theme gangs. You should totally do it. They should make it. They should make it right now. All right, Bob, you made the right
Now-
choice. It was not only the right choice; it was the right strategy. Having
Now I'm
me
gonna look
start.
up the Lizzies and make sure I didn't say something wrong.
Yeah,
Go
look
ahead.
that all up. You should have. The fact that you had me start was key because I am all out at this point. I wouldn't have gotten any more. And so that one move was it.
Yeah. I almost picked Brian to win out of I'm fellow South Carolinian,
That's right.
kind of thing. But I have to say I'm glad I decided to abandon loyalty and
and the state of
we
South
don't know.
Carolina.
I mean, if I had to win first, I might have gotten the mines or something. Who knows?
Yeah,
Right.
you never know how it would have gone.
All the variables.
Yep, the variables all added up to you winning. All you got to do is send Brian an email, coverville@gmail.com, or you can probably ping him on Discord, which you are now in the Discord for the competition.
Yep.
One way or the other, and he'll get your address and your stuff and you, sir.
Mail stuff out to you and your game and all that stuff.
Think of it this way. Even if you don't win the competition, you won this one, and that's awesome.
that's right.
That's ominous, isn't it? I shouldn't say things like that. All right, have fun. All right. There you
By
go.
the way, real quick update: the Speedwagon. It's a car made by the company REO, obviously the REO Motor Car Company, and it's an ancestor of the pickup truck, used for a lot of businesses, light duty. I'm not seeing. I know that I've seen REO Speedwagons used for armored cars, but it's not listed on the Wikipedia page. But delivery trucks, tow trucks, dump trucks, and fire trucks.
Oh, that makes sense. When you need it done in a hurry, call a Speedwagon.
Never
Speedwagon.
in my life have heard of this before until today. Didn't know it was a car company. No idea. I knew the band.
had,
and that was it. I thought they made it up.
Well, a buddy of mine got married several years ago and had here in Denver, you can rent an REO or an REO Speedwagon basically as a party vehicle, and it's like decked out inside with chairs and a bar and a pole in the middle, and of course he had a stripper. Basically, we took that truck all the way up to the gambling town outside of Denver, and then all the way back with a like
The
6 of us and a
gambling town.
stripper who probably it just feels really uncomfortable when you're in these enclosed spaces and you've got stripper gyrating all around in front of you.
So it's this is interesting. The founder of the company is Ransom E. Olds, who I think is also the
No,
name
that's
the
Oldsmobile?
Oldsmobile. I'm pretty sure that's
Eli Olds, yeah.
him. Yeah, I guess the E. Well, it just says E here, but
Oh,
anyway.
okay.
They had in 1907, 2 years after the company was founded, they had $4.5 million in gross sales. That's a lot of money in 1907 money.
It is.
A huge amount of money. And then they ended in 75. So 52 years.
And he is the
or 67,
and he's
sorry.
the Olds of Oldsmobile as well.
Yeah, that must be. I never knew that
Yep.
either. Oh my gosh, I
Didn't
grew
either.
up.
So it's his initials REO for the REO Motor Company, and then Oldsmobile.
I have no idea any of this
So
was
we
the
had
case.
two.
Wow. All right. Well done, band. You completely eclipsed your freaking origins. The band just came out and said, "We make music, and here's the thing." And I went, "All right. Well, Scott's going to block his brain off from any other historical info about REO Speedwagon."
Let's take this name and we'll take it on the run.
Yeah. What the hell was I thinking? All right. Someone in the chat room just said, "Go Cox." I don't know what that's about. What's that about?
South Carolina, go Gamecocks,
Oh,
or
Gamecocks.
go Clemson Tigers.
Okay.
Take a pick.
All right.
Okay, a bunch of South Carolinians in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not sure which
Oh,
way
we
to go.
don't want to. I don't want to be a Gamecock. That's one of my favorite lines from The Simpsons.
I don't want to be a pirate.
It's pretty good. All right, Brian, having you here is always a pleasure. And if you want to follow him and his doings, he's over at The Brian Dunaway. And streaming now on the daily at Brian Dunaway over there on Twitch. What do you got lined up
We're doing
for
it
today?
tonight at 6.
Yeah? What are you doing? What are you covering? What are you playing?
I think I'm going to do some more No Man's Sky because I'm just enjoying it just too much. Too much.
You got to get more of that
Oh,
ferrite
I miss
dust, son.
playing that game. I haven't played in a few days. I need
play
to
it.
play. Want to play.
Yeah, get in there.
Gotta find my freighter.
Yeah, get yourself a freighter. Buy yourself a
summon it.
couple of... Well, you got to buy one
Oh,
first.
have you not gotten a free? No, you can get one for free if you warp to a new system and there's ships attacking a freighter. Then you take those ships out. Sometimes the pilot of the freighter is so happy that you did that he just gives you the freighter.
Here's the freighter.
It's like somebody saying, "Thanks for stopping those teenagers from throwing, spitballs at my house. You can have my house now." That's just
Here's my
weird.
house. Exactly. Yes.
Very weird. But anyway, well, that's great. That's tonight at 6 p.m. your time. That's 4 p.m. Mountain. Check them out.
Right.
I may tune in and watch you bumble around in there. I like watching you play.
Do
Yeah.
it.
Now that you know how the
Give me some tips. You're really good at it. You're really good at yelling at me.
Yeah, everyone thinks I'm yelling. I'm actually not yelling. It's just tech. It's hard because you're
It's the all caps and the exclamation mark. We're not yelling.
and you're like,
Get more dihydrogen.
it's because you're 30 seconds ahead of everybody and or behind. The chat's behind, and it's like all of the weaknesses of live streaming come alive when I watch you play that game. Anyway,
So fun.
Brian Dunaway, everybody wish him well in his effort to become
thank
a
you very
partnered
much.
Twitcher, and have a fantastic afternoon. We'll see you later.
Oh, very good. Thank you, sir.
Bye. I pictured him sitting on the floor that whole time. Do you think he was?
I totally did. Yeah, you like cross-legged, crisscross applesauce.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking of Warriors gangs.
It's pretty good. That was a great topic. Sonya, was it? No,
Sandra.
Sandra.
Yes.
I keep thinking Sonya because that's Patrick's wife, and she is also Finnish.
From Finland.
Yeah. You can also see her heartbeat. Like a baby fish.
Well, we've got a lot more coming from her. Great list of Battle Royale topics.
Fantastic.
We've had a lot come in that are really, really good. So,
This pleases me to hear this.
yes.
All right, time for a thing. Where is it? Here it is.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive sensational summary of world and local events.
It's time for the news, and it's brought to you by.
Brought to you by Coverville. Today, a brand new show where we celebrate what would have been Leonard Cohen's 85th birthday. I got to see Leonard Cohen in one of his last concerts here at Red Rocks, and it was one of the best concerts I'd ever seen. He is amazing musician, but really an amazing lyricist. And those lyrics translate when you have covers very, very well, and you don't want to listen to his really deep voice. Of course, you'll find a cover of Hallelujah, but you're going to find the most un-Hallelujah cover of Hallelujah you've ever heard. You might not even recognize it. All this and more. Bird on a Wire, Suzanne, Tower of Song. You'll have Straight Jacket Fitz, the Jesus and Mary Chain, and even Jonathan Colton today, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville.
Nice. All right, here it is in the news. Police have foiled. I love the word foil. We don't use it enough.
Foiled.
Yeah.
Curses have been foiled.
You only hear about foil in cooking situations or, whatever. You never hear the term foil used in its
No, you don't hear exactly.
like
A
someone's.
burglary attempt was foiled today by
Yeah.
the police.
You
Yeah,
don't hear it.
really
It's too old
No, I
timey.
wish we did hear it more.
Yeah, it's too old timey. So here we're going to use it today. Police have foiled a 3,000 person hide and seek game at an IKEA. Well, that's a lot of people, dude.
It's a lot of people. It seems like it'd be pretty easy with 3,000 people.
Well, it's about 10 square feet per person at a 300,000 square feet building. That's a typical store anyway. So
Look, there's Fred is hiding behind the glorp blort. I'm gonna go check out inside the drawers of the Schmingen.
yeah, the
I bet,
Schmingen.
I bet Nancy's inside there.
I love the Schmingen. Schmingen's a great piece of hardware. Says here, the typical store is about that big, spread out over multiple floors, and the world's largest IKEA is a whopping 700,000 square feet. And massive IKEA warehouse stores overflowing with nooks and crannies and acres of faux bedrooms, closets, kitchens, and storage areas have proven all too tempting over the years for people eager to play absolutely epic games of hide and seek. Apparently, this is a thing generally. So this is what happened. An IKEA hide and seek surfaced with these 3,000 people over the weekend in its huge store in Glasgow, Scotland. Police were called in after being alerted that some 3,000 people on Facebook said they planned to mob the store for hide and seek. 5 officers remained at the IKEA store in Glasgow for most of the day on Saturday, trying to gauge whether suspicious-looking customers were browsing for the perfect spot to hide or genuinely pondering if a rug matched their living room. It's pretty funny.
That is really funny.
People are stopping everyone. This is a quote. People are stopping everyone who looks like they are there for a game of hide and seek, someone who visited the store said.
I love it. How do you look like you're there for a game of hide and seek? I guess if you have couch cushions glued to your legs and
Right. You got you got built-on cover like that. That's a great idea.
exactly, yeah. Your costume.
Oh, that's too good. It says IKEA says the stores cannot host these things because of health and safety issues. We need to make sure people are safe, they said, and that's hard to do when they know where you are, or if we don't know where you are, says an IKEA spokesperson. Sorry, could be a lady. I don't know.
Right. Could be.
IKEA officially banned hide and seek in 2015. During the months before the ban was instituted, tens of thousands of people had signed up online to play hide and seek at IKEA stores in Europe, including retail warehouses in Amsterdam, Utrecht, and Prague. Well, you'll end up dead there if you're not careful. I don't know. That's probably not true. I'm just making that up. IKEA had to officially ban hide and seek in stores in Australia as well. I wonder why this hasn't been a big thing here, because it says here the IKEA hide and seek phenomenon has not hit the U.S., or at least people have not been busted for playing in stores. Maybe they're good hiders or subtle about how their games are, and they haven't been detected, they say. But I haven't heard of anything here. But now I
haven't either, but now it makes me want to do it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does. Is there an IKEA
Spectacular 2020 at the IKEA in Salt Lake City, hide and seek? Oh my God! We actually the next time if we do a Nerdtacular, that needs to be part of it.
That would be really funny.
Yeah.
All right. Let's pretend we didn't say anything. We'll see how that goes.
Exactly. I don't think there's one in Vegas. Is there? Is there a?
I don't know. I was just going to ask. I don't think so. There's that big Fry's out there that would probably work for one if they gutted it and made it an IKEA. But
oh, there is an IKEA in Las Vegas. It's
oh, there is.
Doesn't help me with when the address is. It's on 6500 IKEA Way, Las Vegas, Nevada.
That sounds way up north. That's probably way north, if I'm guessing.
It is probably, yeah.
Fancy people.
We could all Uber to the great hide and seek game in.
Yep.
Let's see here. I'm looking at it right now. It is. Yeah, it is. It's actually way west of the Strip and downtown, so probably closer to Red Rock. When we're looking at. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a nice area out there.
It's very close to the Wet and Wild Las Vegas, where the Wet and Wild moved after it left the Strip.
Is that where they are now? They're still wet and wild, both at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job, guys.
Boy, those guys handing out porny cards as you go down the water slide are really, really distracting.
Yeah, they can be, right? Oh man.
Take this porny card.
Fully naked women.
Drag to your room.
All right, where was I?
Oh my God! Rainbow Bride suggests, couldn't we just do it in one of the casinos? Can you imagine the?
Oh yeah, that'll go great.
Never being asked to never come back to the plaza ever again if we did a big game of hide and seek there. And really, I mean, hiding behind a stack of Willy Wonka machines, how hard is that going to be?
Plus, casino security is hardcore.
Yes. Yeah.
Hardcore.
They don't want you playing any games in there that they're not making money from.
Yeah. Fat chance that would ever go down the right way.
Yes.
All right. Here's a story about convenience store workers, or a worker.
Okay.
He started working at this place. I'm sorry. This is great. Convenience store worker who just was not there very long. Robbed his own store, the store he's working in, on his first day of work, and then he did it for 29 times again before he got arrested.
So wouldn't it just be embezzlement if you're stealing from the place you work?
Right. I mean, it is, but if your very first,
unless maybe he's dressing up, and coming in when it's not his shift and robbing the place.
Could be. Well, here's how it went down. Let's see. This is a guy, according to police in Oita Prefecture in Japan.
Oita Prefecture.
I am going to steal all of your yen. No more yen for you. That's not a Japanese accent at all.
No,
I just did.
No.
Yours was, but mine wasn't. I have to go secret ingredient, or I'm not doing it right.
Secret ingredient is beef jerky.
Beef jerky.
Slurpee.
Ooh, wait! I want this episode of that show now.
Yeah.
I want to know what they do.
That'd be great, right? Iron Chef 7-Eleven, where you have to make stuff from hot dogs that have been rolling back and forth for a full day, and beef jerky, and
Slim
Slurpees.
Jims, and freaking Big Hunks, and just the worst.
And the
food.
sunflower seeds.
Iron Chef 7-Eleven. I am all in on that. What a brilliant idea. All right. Anyway, so this dude, he stole over $100,000 US. That's a lot of yen. I don't know what the conversion is currently, but $100,000 in US. Let's see. Let me do the conversion.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's right there in parentheses right next to it.
Oh, does it say it? Oh, I missed
Yeah.
it. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. 94.
94,000, yeah.
No, that can't be right. Oh, no. Okay. 10 million Japanese yen. That's $94,150. Okay, there it is.
Oh, over the course, right. Over the course
of the time. Yeah.
His crime spree.
Yeah, his 29 other times.
Spree candies!
I used to love those. I was a big fan of sprees.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
Like, they were the sweet tarts with a nice shell.
Yeah, it was a sweet outer shell, and it was like it was like high school official candy of high school for me was sprees, I think.
Yeah, it's really weird. It was for us too.
Yeah, and lemon heads maybe a lot of lemon heads. I like those.
That's why you're still hooked. For me,
That's how they get you, dude.
all about the atomic fireballs right here.
Yeah, those are good too. These are all. That's also very reminiscent of my youth. How about we change all that and we get everyone excited about salty lemon drops? How about those? No?
Man, you got the big bag. I just got the little Ziplocky of like 8 of them left to give out to trick or treaters.
Yeah, I emptied these and. Well, one of them's empty. They sent me 2 bags. I sent you guys enough to know you would hate it, and I have eaten exactly
Gotcha.
1.
Oh, right. Good. And I'm glad you only gave us that much.
Yeah, you don't want more than that, turns out.
No.
Anyway, this guy's in trouble and probably shouldn't have done that. So there's that.
Don't fish where you eat. No, what is it? Don't
eat,
poop off the company pier. No,
don't eat the company's poop off the.
Don't mess around with Jim. Something like that.
That's it. Don't mess with Jim. with Jim. All right, check this out. A Oklahoma man was driving a stolen vehicle, and here's what he was caught with.
All right.
He had a rattlesnake, whiskey, a gun, and uranium.
Marty, I finally have all the ingredients to power my
It's your
time
kids.
machine.
It's your kids. I just need this whiskey. Marty.
Rattlesnake, uranium, whiskey, and firearm. This sounds like it's like he stole the NATO alphabet.
Kind of did. It is. It's like you're on the radio going, all right, no.
He stole some Charlie, some Delta, some Tango, some Foxtrot, and
Yeah. Firehawk, we're going to need you to rattlesnake, uranium, whiskey, firearm. Over. That sounds totally like that. All right. It says here, officers in Oklahoma made a startling discovery when they arrested 2 people at a traffic stop, only to find out that their vehicle contained a rattlesnake, a canister of uranium, an open bottle of whiskey, and a firearm. Officers at the Guthrie Police Department had pulled over Stephen Jennings and Rachel Rivera, for driving with expired tags on June 26th. We're just now hearing about it. After the officer discovered that Jennings was driving with the expired license and finding out that Rivera is a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. Yep, they were both placed under arrest. The vehicle was a Ford Explorer, was impounded. All that stuff's been going on. They've also found out the car was stolen. So, in effect, they were also in possession of a stolen vehicle. They said there's a live rattlesnake in the back seat. It was surprising to the officer, obviously, said the statement. Let's see. They also had a bottle of Kentucky Deluxe whiskey. You ever had that? Is that a thing?
I don't think I've had Kentucky Deluxe.
Sounds like a not good. It sounds
I ever
cheap.
tell you boys about the time I drank some Kentucky Deluxe whiskey?
True story.
True story.
That voice he does. It says Jennings, a local counter of Logan County, told officers he had the uranium because he recently purchased a Geiger counter to test metals, and the chemical element came with the purchase. He joked that the officers were trying to create a super snake.
Free uranium with purchase of Geiger counter.
Yep. I think he was feeding the snake whiskey so it could then soak it in uranium and then end up with a giant super snake. I think that was the plan.
And then the rattlesnake would grow arms and hands so he could give it the firearm and create.
Oh yeah, he could be they could just be the drivers. The snake with arms and legs now could go, which is basically a lizard, right? Could go into the bank and rob the bank.
Right.
And then no one's gonna go, I recognize that snake lizard.
Exactly. No, I'm just a getaway driver. You're looking for a snake with a uranium snake with arms. Drunk uranium snake.
I love that. That's a great. Great turn of
Drunk
events.
gun-toting uranium snake.
It just seems crazy that all those things would be in the same car, which is, I guess, why it's new.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Laura for real is totally right. Origin story. Doesn't this feel? This feels like Marvel 1967. Snake Man was created when he
yep.
when he was driving through Oklahoma carrying uranium, whiskey, a firearm, and a rattlesnake in his car.
Yeah, it's even more. It's like more like what the boys would do now or something. But
Right.
BioCow says he has uranium at home to show off his Geiger counter. So how does one procure some uranium, and what volume can you get at BioCow? Can you just walk into a Nukes R Us store and walk out of there with a bottle of that, or how does one do that? That's from the Libyans.
Right.
As
Let me get you the Libyans. It's the Libyans, Marty.
Marty, the Libyans did it. That's hilarious to me. Oh, he says eBay. All right. Okay.
eBay.
All
I love
right.
it. You can buy uranium on eBay. Oh, no way. You can buy uranium on Amazon?
Well,
I'm looking at this.
according to J.C. Calhoun, let's see if that's true.
There's a link. I mean, you can.
He just had a birthday. He may not be thinking straight. Oh no, he's right.
Yeah,
There
you
it is.
can-
Uranium ore
Yeah.
in a lead pig.
This feels like it comes in the same container as thinking putty.
That is really weird.
This can't be real. Is this real?
It seems not real, doesn't it?
Right? Exactly. Can I get this with Prime shipping?
Oh, weird. The link opens
Wow.
differently in
You
two
can get a
browsers.
fetal pig from Amazon.
It's a what?
You
mean
can get a fetal pig.
Wait, why? Really? Really?
Yes.
Okay.
For $21.50, you can get a.
Huh. By the way, here, Chad, I can show you the screen. Let me ask, BioCow and those like him. You've got a Geiger counter. I understand that's cool and everything. Do you ever worry the uranium you're using to test? Like, you ever worried you're going to grow like a third testicle or something? Like one day you'll wake up and go, I got a third nut. Like,
Okay. I need you to go. Are you on the page, the Amazon page with the uranium ore?
Yeah.
Okay. Scroll down to.
Oh, there it is, a Nasco fetal pig.
Yeah, exactly. Here's what's great is customers who viewed this item also viewed. And so it's the fetal pig, How to Avoid Huge Ships, a book called How to Avoid Huge Ships, and the 2009-2014 Outlook for Wood Toilet Seats in Greater China.
Wow, I have a different list. Let me tell you what mine is.
Okay, what's on your list?
Mine is the pig comes with a uranium ore, or no, sorry, the people buy together this uranium ore,
Yeah.
a Nasco dogfish shark.
Wait. Is it a dog, a fish, or a shark?
It says dogfish shark. I feel like man bear pig is happening.
Right, dogfish shark.
And
I
then
guess a dogfish shark. Okay.
yeah, dogfish shark, and then a sheep organ brain, a sheep brain. They've also
love
bought some Iranian ore and a lead pig, or PIG. It stands for something else.
Yeah.
Is Wayne? Is the fetal pig?
The fetal pig is a real fetal pig.
Right,
It's
but what
like
do you
a
do
real-
with it? Like, what's the point of it?
It's for dissecting. You know, if you maybe for homeschoolers who want to have that real 6th grade biology experience, you do the pig dissection.
Okay, these reviews can't be
I'm
real.
amazed by the whole you scroll through this list of customers who viewed this item also viewed. So there's a Western horse saddle for children, a copper meditation pyramid for self-healing, and real human finger bones.
Really?
Yes.
All on Amazon.
All on Amazon, all related to customers who viewed the uranium ore. These are things they also viewed. This
Yeah.
is absolutely fascinating. Oh, I just got to the dogfish shark,
Oh yeah, that thing's pretty weird. It looks like same
a
same
UFO
thing.
detector, and
Uh-huh.
wolf urine,
Great.
and
Great.
the gourmet peanut butter and jelly of the month club for 12 months.
Yeah, listen to some of these reviews, by the way. These are great for the pig. My daughter loves him, says this July 2nd, 2018 review. My daughter kept asking for a pet dog, but they can be a lot of work. I got her this pig instead, and she loves Mr. Squeaky. I told her he will come back to life on the next solstice blood moon, and she believes me. Ha ha, what an idiot. Anyway, great pet alternative. I put some small wheels on him so my daughter walks him. My daughter walks him. He stands. That's weird. He stands up and his skin doesn't rip off. All right. Then later we got this one. Absolutely adorable and so tasty, says 5-star reviewer Jared Vincent. These are great. And my favorite here is probably the most true one. Kim Solorski says, Merry Christmas. Someone's going to be very excited when they open their Secret Santa gift this year at work. This is really good. Every review is like that. They're all like, here's this one. This one gave it 2 stars. Not very tasty is the headline. Tried a simple pork chop and applesauce dinner, marinated pork in a brown sugar bourbon slurry. Meat was fairly tough despite cooking it for the ideal time and temperature. If not for the marinade and dipping in applesauce, would have been inedible. So
the customer questions and answers are really good too. What type of sauce goes best with this?
Oh, it's too good, dude. The Nasco fetal pig. Get yours today. Amazon. $21, $22 plus a little shipping. $6 shipping.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to do something with this.
Yeah, right. Like order it for somebody.
Just freak my wife out,
Right.
How about? Let's see what the sheep brain does. The sheep brain's only $12.
Oh, it's a bargain.
And it's got the cranial nerve roots intact. So it's like a full brain there.
The legacy, Indiana Jones.
Oh, frequently bought together. The eyes of a cow and a heart double injected lab specimen of also a cow heart.
Ooh, somebody's trying to make Franken animal.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure this just sounds like high school to me, like my physiology class, but I didn't. I mean, who knew Amazon would just sell me all this shit? This is great.
This is fascinating. This feels like a gold mine of finding a product and then seeing all the different things customers who viewed this item also viewed.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing.
It's pretty crazy. Let's see, how much is the eyeball by itself? $12.
Can I buy the eye just by itself? Why? Number one, why did this person view real human finger bones as well? And number two, why can you buy real human finger bones on Amazon?
I think it's for all educational stuff. I think it's all just for biology type study stuff. I'm sure it's got to be. And these are cheap.
Okay.
Look at that, real human finger bone, metacarpal, $15. This is crazy. But you don't want to do this because if you accidentally leave it in the basement and then the police are sniffing around your neighborhood for some serial killer and they search your basement, they're going to find a human bone. And then they're going to think you did it.
So I want to see what, before we go to the music, I want to see what you get when you go to the real human finger bones customers who viewed this item also viewed, because I find the Gourmet Peanut Butter and Jelly of the Month Club again.
Mm-hmm.
I find one of those those big head stickers you can put on your wall or fat head of like football players and stuff.
Yeah.
They have one that's golf cart, like seniors driving a golf cart.
Okay.
And then roast beef sandwich bath soak, amber bath salts that smell like roast beef sandwich.
Wow. That's somebody's ASMR or whatever.
Somebody's my weird addiction or
Yep.
something like that.
Yep. Oh my gosh, they have actual human skull I can get. Those are expensive. The real human stuff is expensive.
Yeah.
But you can get this Mr. Thrifty budget skeleton model, 33 and a half inches for classroom use, $70. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know why I care about any of that. All right, we're going to take a break so that Tom isn't waiting any longer. That was just a weird offshoot, and we had to go there. We're going to do a song. Brian's going to tell you what it is. We're going to play it, and then we'll be back with Tom. We'll be back with Nicole and all the fun stuff Wednesday brings. So, Brian, would you set us off right with a song?
Absolutely. This is brand new. Came out today, a band called Time for Three. They are a trio of musicians from New York, I believe. Yeah, looks like they're from New York, although they're doing a lot of touring right now in Little Rock and Morgantown, West Virginia. So keep an eye out for them. Big thanks to Jim at Big Hassle Media. The brand new song is called Over. Here is Time for Three.
Look, you left a sock over there. Over there. Is it so hard to pick up after yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Chester.
The morning stream. This time, they're fighting for their lives.
All right, we're back, everyone. Welcome back to the program. TVZ guy makes a good point. He bets that when we add Tom to this, Tom will have some of these items by his desk, and he will bring them up inexplicably.
He'll be able to show us. Here's some human finger bones,
Yep.
and here's
Here's the skeleton I keep next to me all
here's
the
the
time.
book of how to avoid large ships.
Yep, this is going to happen. But first, we play this.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Tom Merritt from Daily Tech News Show and All Things
Why
Tech.
did you play Justin's theme?
Oh, I hit the wrong one. Shit. I know why. Because
you're terrible with Brexit now.
I'm
You're
terrible.
terrible with buttons.
I'm terrible with buttons. Here it is for real.
With the computer, as with any tool, the concept and direction must come from the man.
Too many buttons, too many things to click. I don't know what I was thinking. Hey.
Well, it wasn't that you played the wrong theme. That wouldn't have thrown me, but you just kept going like,
Yeah.
sure, he's Justin today.
I just
Why
heard it.
not?
I just heard it in my head, and my brain went, no, that's
Maybe
fine.
it's because Justin Trudeau just called for a Canadian election.
Whoa.
And that's on your
Probably why.
So
yeah.
politics
man.
and adjusting.
It's a very sensitive button, it turns out. I can tell when the Canadian Prime Minister's got stuff to say.
Yeah.
A very sensitive button.
Do you have any of the things?
That was my Smiths cover band.
A very sensitive button. Don't try to press it, don't try to press it, because it hurts, and I don't want to hurt anymore.
Yep. So you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fan.
Turns out he knows all about it. All right, so here's my question. Well, first of all, let's answer the chat room's question. Do you have any of these? Do you have any kind of skeletal remains anywhere within reach of your desk? This will prove TVZ gone wrong if you don't have any of that stuff.
Do teeth count?
Yes, they count.
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
You
he
have
has
human.
it.
You have human teeth.
He's gonna go grab it. He has it. Oh my lord. What is that? It looks
Wow, he's got a briefcase full of human teeth.
Oh, what?
We're never talking about tech again. This
No.
is too. This is this is where I want to be from now on.
So what does he got? Let's see it.
So here are my wisdom teeth.
Good enough. That qualifies.
It does. You could get good money for those on eBay, it turns out. Or
I feel
on
like we're
Amazon.
playing Let's Make a Deal. All right. Does anybody have a paperclip?
This one has a little bit of a cavity on it.
Oh. So wait, you kept your wisdom teeth. That's interesting. And you
I
keep
didn't want to lose my wisdom, man.
and you kept it in you keep it in a briefcase. I have
in a jar in a briefcase.
I have a lot of questions about this.
On the doorstep of Funk and Wagnall's.
Please, question away.
I can't. I need to formulate my thoughts before I figure out why that was even a thing. So instead of that, we're going to talk about technology. I mean, I know it was a huge Apple Day yesterday, but I'll let you decide. You're the determiner of what I care about.
I was actually gonna. So we're both abdicating responsibility about talking about Apple. I was gonna say, are you talked out on Apple yet?
I mean, we haven't really
I've
talked
kind
about
of been
it.
avoiding it. Yeah, we haven't really talked about it.
We haven't
on the
talked
show.
about it a lot.
Because I felt like my summary of that announcement was this was the moment where Apple showed off its breadth of offerings. This is the year when you didn't look at the announcement and go, well, it was supposed to be a big iPhone announcement and it wasn't that impressive. Because if you just look at the iPhone announcement, it's not that impressive.
incremental,
It's got a
sure.
nice camera, better battery life, but
Right.
it's definitely the definition of evolutionary, not revolutionary.
Right.
But if you look at everything they announced, even before the iPhone, it shows that the Tim Cook's Apple is a slow burn. Suddenly you're like, wow, the Apple Watch, it's still around and it's great. And they keep you're not going to get blown away. It's not the Steve Jobs era where he comes out on stage and wows you. It's just it's a marathon, not a sprint for Tim Cook, it feels like. And these were all solid announcements. Apple TV Plus at $4.99 a month makes perfect sense.
For the whole
I have
family,
some
too.
questions about where they're going with that, but that is the right price for that.
Sure. 5 people can use it too, which is nuts. I thought.
5, yeah, because it's the family plan. And if you buy, as many Apple fans do, a new iPhone, iPad, or Apple TV, you get a year of Apple TV Plus for free. So there's a lot of Apple people won't pay for it at all.
Yeah, that's true. I guess if I get a new, I was trying to think because they didn't announce new iPad Pros, which I was interested in for various reasons, and because of that, I'm like, well, that's it's not something I have to think about this year. And then I thought, well, wait, I want to get that year for free. What do I do? And then I realized, well, I'll probably get an iPhone 11. probably one of the color ones. I don't need the look.
Eileen has been looking for a new iPhone this year anyway. She was kind of on the border between getting a Samsung, but I think she's probably going to get an iPhone, in which case she'll get the free year and the family plan, and Bob's your uncle.
What are you gonna do? You still using the 2-year-old 10 right at the moment?
Yeah, and my only issue is that the battery life isn't quite what it was at launch, when I first got it, but otherwise I'm perfectly happy with it. I don't really need a new one. And my justification for buying iPhones in the past has been, but it's got this new thing that I have to try. I don't feel like there's anything in this iPhone 11 that I have to try.
Right. The camera was a big push, obviously, and it did tempt me.
Yeah.
And if I'm turning over this year anyway, I may as well do it. But
if you do a lot of video where you want that multi-source or multi-different camera zooms,
with the Filmic software that they showed off, that was pretty nifty.
Pretty sharp, but that's about the only thing that I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
And you're not even getting that at launch. You have to get the Filmic software, which is coming out later this year. So
they take advantage of it.
There's nothing that made me say.
And Filmic, by the way, is awesome on current devices. It's a really sweet piece of software, but I guess this new version will have support for all that and everything, which is good.
Are either of you planning on recording some Slofies? I know you're not going to get one for a while, Tom. But
Scott, by the way, nice job, Tom, with the Slofie's Choice joke on Twitter. Pretty much owned. I don't know why that thing's like 10,000. It's not 10,000 likes. Like that's ridiculous. It should be higher. Everyone go like that tweet.
It did seem to be one of my more successcul Twitter puns.
Yes, it was a strong one, really good one out of the gate. But
thank you.
So where my head's at is we're in that we've hit that area where we hit this with PCs not long ago, where the innovation comes from the long tail and the slow incremental upgrades in both speed, capacity, in this case battery life, things like that. But we're kind of there now, so I don't think anybody should expect mind-blowing, revolutionary anything from their next Samsung keynote or their next Apple keynote or their next anybody keynote, because that's just kind of where we're at. Right. And I think that's actually kind of an okay place to be, because what it's done, and you're seeing this with Apple, you're seeing these companies being forced to broaden what they do. And in Apple's case, they're leaning into services and leaning into it so well that their last financial reports really show that that's lean into services is paying off for them. And now they've got 2 more that are about to launch that I think are very competitively priced. I don't know what to think about that C show that's on. That looked kind of bad to me. That they
really? Funny that he's going from Aquaman to C.
Well, it's not that. It just seemed something about it. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. It kind of.
I'll check it out, but there's something about it.
You didn't like Blind Clan of the Cave Bear Beyond Thunderdome?
Kind of not. It's the Beyond Thunderdome part is interesting to me, but the rest of it was like, I don't know how I feel about it.
It's
anyway,
we'll
see.
Very dark place.
Yeah, it's hard to.
A quiet place.
It's hard to tell what it is, but regardless, like that price is really good. 5 people on there all the time, perfect. Apple Arcade, perfect price for that. Like it's them really being competitive in those spaces, and that made me happy, because that's where you got to be strong now, is your services, and that includes everybody, not just Apple. We are no longer in that place where your next phone release is the reason that you're going to bring in billions of dollars. You got to do it other ways. So.
Now this is a dumb question, but is there going to be anything but original content on Apple TV Plus, or is it they're not getting movie licenses or things like that? It's
no.
just going to be original content.
The plan with Apple TV Plus is that you pay $4.99 a month to get the original shows from Apple, and that sits in the TV app alongside your HBO subscription that you can buy as a channel through Apple TV, your Starz subscription, your CBS All Access.
So not a replacement necessarily for or competitor to Netflix or Hulu as much as it's a competitor to like AMC or FX or
HBO. I mean, if you think about it, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, those are big buckets of like, we have millions of things for you to choose from. Maybe not millions, but you know what I mean? Like large amounts. HBO is, we have our great shows, and that's it. HBO does. I mean, they do license movies, still, movies, and put them in, but the big push for them is usually the shows. So Apple TV Plus is going one down from that and saying, we're just going to have our own shows and movies. We're not even going to license anything out, because you can buy those, you can rent those, and you can get those through HBO and Starz and places like that. So I think what Apple wants you to do is think of Apple TV Plus as the house channel that has some great stuff, which makes you want to use the Apple devices. Now that's where I find this interesting, because if Apple needs to get its revenue from services in the future, this is not the plan. $5 a month is not enough to fund billions of dollars of content, which they are spending billions of dollars on content.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And giving it away free with hardware purchases is certainly something you do to drive hardware purchases if you're making your money off hardware. So this is interesting in that I feel like this is Apple saying we're still making our money on hardware. We still need to push out hardware. So let's get a lot of people subscribed to this early on when we don't have as many offerings, and see if we can't get folks to be jealous that they're missing out on the newsroom or the morning show. It's not the newsroom.
the morning
it's
show.
an identical clone to the newsroom, but Steve Carell.
The first time they used TMS, I have a cease and desist order drafted up that I'm
Yeah,
sending
yeah,
as soon
yeah.
as they
Yeah.
try to abbreviate TMS.
We're ready.
Yeah, but they're hoping one of these shows out there will become a Game of Thrones that everyone wants to see, and then folks will figure out like, okay, well, I guess I got to subscribe to Apple TV Plus. How do I do that? That's the short-term plan. The long-term plan has to be to make money off this as a service. Maybe Apple TV Plus is always a loss leader, and the money they make is off selling those channel subscriptions, getting that cut of CBS All Access, HBO Stars. That may be the plan.
Yeah, I wonder. They haven't talked about there's a pretty wide selection of projects underway for that service. They just aren't talking about them because the rest of the ones they're showing obviously have trailers and they're further enough along in production they can do that and whatever. But we still don't know a lot about that TD Time Bandits thing he's doing.
Waititi.
Yeah, Taika Waititi's Time Bandits thing. We don't know a whole lot about what Aaron Sorkin's project looks like. We don't know what Spielberg's thing looks like. Like, there's a bunch of people doing things that we don't know what they look like yet. I think $4.99 seems like a smart thing, but you're right. It seems like a loss leader. It seems like a way for them to.
Yeah. No, it's perfect for consumers to give this away free with new hardware. So there is a feeling of like, oh, I don't have to pay for a thing from Apple because I already gave Apple a bunch of money, along with for people who are going to have to pay to subscribe, a price point that looks favorable next to $6.99 from Disney Plus. It looks favorable. It certainly looks favorable next to Netflix's $11 or $15.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I assume there's obviously some of that stuff still tear through today, despite we having a day between that and that. I know yesterday you guys were very heavy on the big stuff. So
yeah,
we'll
that
see.
was the bulk of Daily Tech News Show with Allison and Patrick Beja yesterday was going through iPhone 11, the new Apple Watch, which has now got an always on screen.
Mm-hmm.
They do some low refresh rate stuff to keep the battery life up with that. The Apple Retail Store has a new trade-in program where you can trade in and do monthly payments. I think you can do that online as well as in store. But yeah, there's also a new iPad, 10.2-inch Retina display is the 7th gen iPad at the entry level. Be interesting to see what's left for October. Apple generally in the past several years has done a September announcement and an October announcement. And in the past, that's been iPhone related or focused in September and iPad focused in October. I have a feeling that this year it might be consumer focused in September and Pro. Even though we got the iPhone Pro, I think we're going to get MacBook Pros, iPad Pros, maybe Mac Pro in October. We'll see.
That sounds right to me as well. It'll be interesting if they I don't know, the word, like, there's been a lot of hubbub about these Mac Pros and tariffs, and I wonder what they do about that.
Oh yeah, what kind of effect that has?
And maybe they won't do anything because those things are like $8,000 for a decent configuration.
I mean,
Why would
tariffs
you do it?
affect everything.
Well, that's true.
I don't know why it would target the Mac Pro specifically, except that it's new.
Well, probably just would jack the price up as opposed to make them.
How are you going to tell with the Mac Pro?
Well,
I mean,
it was just
tariffs are
yeah.
going to hit price sensitive
Right.
stuff like the iPhone 11 or the SE, or I think people are expecting them to come out with a mid-range iPhone in the spring this year, meant for worldwide markets. So it would affect those. I don't know that the Mac Pro is that price sensitive, really.
No, you make a very solid point. I think it's probably just because it's been mentioned out loud, like from the president's tweets, specifically the Mac Pro, make them in the U.S. thing. So,
don't read those.
No,
Then
I
you don't
agree.
Then you don't,
I agree.
You don't fall under that misconception.
There's the problem.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, is because of that, it has this high-profile discussion around it now, and it probably doesn't need it. But
I don't think it's a high-profile discussion personally. That's very interesting to me that you do.
Well, I mean, it is because well, I guess
I don't see it.
Well,
I haven't seen this discussion that you're talking about.
Well, I've heard it lots of places, not just there. I don't follow him on Twitter.
No, but
so
I'm wondering where those places are because I look at tech news every day and I'm not seeing it.
I'll have to find it.
Yeah. No, I'm not. But trust me, I'm not being accusatory or gotcha here. That is interesting to me that you are seeing that discussion, that high profile discussion.
Yeah. By the way, the 10R, which is what I have, has been my favorite phone I've ever owned. I love this phone. And I am very happy that the price normal version of the phone, that just the straight up 11, not the Pro, is basically this phone again with a better camera. I think if people were holding off and they've all got 8s or 7s and they're like, I've got to do something this year, I think that 11 looks rad and I would get the product red, but that's just me. Anyway.
I think people overparse the naming of this stuff sometimes, but this is a really good naming convention where they say the iPhone is the $699 one.
Yeah.
That is the iPhone.
Right.
If you want something special, they're like, now for the pros in the audience, we've got to, I thought that was good positioning to get away from this idea that, iPhones are ridiculously expensive, which they are. But to say like, hey, the 10R isn't a cheap version of the iPhone 10. The 10R is now the 11, which is the iPhone. And I think that resets expectations of like, oh, okay, there's the iPhone 11. Or if you've got extra spending cash or a need for a really fancy camera, you can upgrade and get a more expensive one, kind of like MacBooks versus MacBook Pros. I think that's super smart of them because my opinion on this on iPhones these days and Samsung phones and all the phones are we were shifting from, hey, what's the crazy new thing in phones to, well, I'm going to go buy a new phone. And if I go and I see that it's been the same phone for 2 years, I'm not going to be excited. So I'm going to want to see something new when I go to the store, but it doesn't have to be blow me away new every time.
Right. Yeah. I do also think it's smart. It's good marketing and makes more sense. I think it took them too long to figure that out with all the S versions of it and weird naming conventions over the years. And I do think it had a tendency last year to make the R's seem like they were less than somehow. That was a dumb idea because they're really good phones and there's nothing wrong with just calling it an iPhone.
They should have made it the iPhone XI.
Right. Yeah. Or skipping 9 altogether was weird. Like, it's just, that stuff's weird. I guess Windows did that too, but whatever.
They wanted to do the 10-year anniversary thing, and they wanted to have the OS 10, the X. And I got what they did with the iPhone 10. The 10R, 10S, I feel like maybe they should have, they were so attracted to that idea of 10 being revolutionary because no button that they wanted to keep hammering that home, I guess.
I get it, but it feels good.
Too much confusion.
This feels like a good jumping point. You're right. So we'll see what we talk about today in that regard and other stuff on the Daily Tech News Show at 2:30 Mountain Time. Anything else you want to tell us about before we go?
Oh, sure. We are rejiggering is a word I've been told not to use in relation to our Patreon tiers. But yeah, we're changing our rewards because we've had pretty much the same rewards all 5 years. I mean, we haven't had all the tiers all 5 years, but it was time to kind of look at our rewards and go, which ones make sense? Which ones do people still like? So we're asking our audience to look at it and say if there's anything they can't live with. But starting in October, we're gonna have some brand new rewards available if you become a member at Daily Tech News Show, patreon.com/DTNS. So there's a post at dailytechnewsshow.com/Patreon if you want to see what's in the works.
Nice. I've seen some of this behind the scenes, and to say you guys are working hard on it would be an understatement. So do check that out. Yep. So look for us later. I'll be on today. Very excited. 2:30 Mountain Time. DailyTechNewsShow.com for details. Tom Merritt, Ace Detect on Twitter. We'll see you later. Bye now.
See you, Tom. Go take care of those teeth.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
Go floss those individual little wisdom teeth.
The only thing I ever kept for my teeth is I did have an old half metal, half ceramic crown that I had for years. And it came off and was just going to get chucked, and I just thought it was kind of cool. So that's somewhere. I have that somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it was so weird. They had to right down the middle. It's silver, or it's not silver, but whatever. I don't know what it is. Stainless steel or something on one side, whole half of it. And then it was like those aliens on Star Trek with the half faces with the black and the blue on the other side. It was like that.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Nicole, time.
Nicole.
Yeah, Nicole. That's who we're bringing in.
Sure.
And for her, I'll play Steven's intro.
See if she has any teeth.
Yeah. See if she's got some teeth, or if she's ever held on to any of her teeth. Because that's kind of weird, right? Nobody should do that.
I don't know. I think I had some of mine as well somewhere.
Someplace somewhere.
I don't know if I still do, but I did.
I'm gonna swallow mine like a pill. Hey, look what we got here. It's Nicole Spag, all the way from Colorado. Also, hello, Colorado. Nicole, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can totally hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you. We can hear you.
Here's my teeth.
Oh, look at that. Do you keep any teeth that anyone's ever pulled out of your face? You hang on to that stuff?
Out of my face?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, but you keep the kids' teeth?
Mateo lost his first tooth. I'm keeping it.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
That's a mom thing to do. I like that.
What are you gonna do with it though? Put a little.
I made
bottle.
I made a cute little Marvel's Avenger bag that I'm keeping them in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Did you? What was I gonna say about that? Oh, Tom puts his in a briefcase, so that's pretty weird, right? Don't you agree? That's a little weird. It's a little weird. A little bit. I mean, he's got that one briefcase with nothing but a pair of wisdom teeth in it.
No, I think I want to know, there were probably a lot of weird things in that briefcase.
So does he get his wisdom teeth out?
He did, but years ago.
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah, I got mine out.
Recently.
They broke. They like cracked them, and
it was awful. This is the worst time in my life. Here's the funny thing: I got 3 of them out when I was 17, and then the dentist was so stupid. He's like, we think that 4th one's just going to do fine. No, when I was 30, it was like breaking up other teeth. They had, I guess we got to go get it. Well, like, why didn't you get it when I was 17, you jackass? So annoying.
I only had 3.
Oh, really? You didn't grow a 4th one?
I didn't grow a 4th one.
Weird.
Maybe they thought.
Know, right?
Maybe they
2
thought.
or 4,
maybe they thought I was going to be like you and only have the 3. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah. No, you could see that it was not there. So, yeah, 2 were sideways on the bottom. They were completely impacted.
Yikes.
And then the top one, I only had 1 on the top. So
Kim has all of her wisdom teeth, and we'd like to tell her she's like the alien queen because she can just open her mouth and a whole other set of teeth come out. She doesn't like that. She's not a fan. All right. Hey, time for recommendals, everybody. We talk about stuff we have seen or watched on streaming services, speaking of those, and we're going to talk about them here and say whether we like them or not. Probably like them because that's what we do. We recommend them. Usually Brian starts. I don't see any reason why not to today. So, Brian, do you have a lead-in for your clip?
Yes. Mine is a 1998 film. I'm trying to figure out how much I want to say here because I feel like this is a recommendal that you can watch when you're done with something else or while you're waiting for more of something else. Is what I'm gonna say.
Oh, all right. I like things like that. Let's see what this little filler is. Playing the clip now.
What sign are you?
Cancer.
Cancer. Good people, cancers. What do you think, Viv?
Crabs. Steve, I wanted to talk to you about, I got some friends, and, I wanted to find out about maybe putting them on the list.
Do they look like you?
One's my cousin.
Okay, let me explain something, kid, okay? Okay. Once a month, the nephew of the king of Saudi Arabia, right, flies 7,000 miles to dance here for one night, all night, then gets back on his plane at sunrise. He tells me it's the only place on earth that he feels totally free. So naturally, we have a responsibility. So I repeat, do they look like you?
I have no idea what this is.
I don't
either. I don't know.
Katavari in the chat room is pretty much on it. It's 54 based on Studio 54, not the documentary that came out, but the movie that came out with Mike Myers, and that was Mike Myers there with the
really
yes, like another brilliant transformative role for Mike Myers,
he's
where
amazing.
he's recognizable as Mike Myers, but his he falls into the character, and he was actually the thing that critics loved the most about this film.
It's
also
I thought it was the guy from Sopranos for a minute.
Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that. This is obviously about the late 1970s disco club Studio 54. Mike Myers plays Steve Rubell, who was the co-founder of the club and the only real person that is represented in this film. Everybody else is kind of a fictional character kind of created for the storyline. Ryan Philippa, Salma Hayek, Nev Campbell, Celia Ward, Breckin Meyer, Sherry Stringfield from ER.
Did you say Ryan Philippa?
Ryan Philippa.
Isn't it Ryan Phillippe? Isn't it Phillippe?
I thought it was Ryan Phillippe.
I heard an interview with him on Howard Stern a couple weeks ago where they actually talked about this film, which is what made me want to see it. And he pronounced it Philippa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
I don't know if that, I mean, Howard Stern could have been pronouncing it incorrectly, but they were saying Philippa.
I'm going to say.
Yeah. What's the movie again?
I'm going to
Studio.
say
It's just called 54. It's not.
Oh,
so there was a documentary called Studio 54. This one is just called 54. Now the movie's okay. You want to find the director's cut, and I think the one that they have on HBO Go is the director's cut. It is 1998, so 20 years old.
21 years old, yeah, almost.
Yeah, and it's funny. This movie is closer to the year that it represents than it is to now.
Let's see what this. By the way, I found a website. Let's see what they say. Hold on.
Ryan Phillip.
Ryan Phillip. He's wrong.
Yeah, it's
Ryan
wrong.
Phillip.
Yeah, that guy's wrong too.
Yeah.
F these guys. All right.
They
sorry.
need the Facebook thing where you say you sound it out for people. You know, on
Right,
Facebook where you can say Nicole.
Can you do that? Can you do that?
Stanulo.
I didn't know you could do that. And can I go play that? Somebody's just on their profile?
No, it's just a visual that you see.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. That'd be cool if you could do audio. Just record your own little clip. People could hear it. That'd be cool.
Right.
Anyway,
that would be kind of cool.
So the director's cut probably has better reviews than this because it's the theatrical
The director's
got
cut
terrible
has way better reviews. Yeah, the one that was released in the studios, and this is what they actually talked about in that interview, which I thought was great. Talks about how the director was forced by the studio to change a few things to make it more appropriate for a general audience, which means taking out a lot of the LGBT stuff, a lot of the kind of uncomfortable, sexual stuff in there, and basically just kind of trimming it down to make it, more appropriate for a wide audience. I'd say if you watch it for one reason, watch it for Mike Myers because he's excellent in this. This is a great role for Mike Myers.
Do you watch The Gong Show?
I do with yes, with his British alter ego. I love that.
Weird. It's so weird.
Yes, it's amazing how much he can kind of turn into these other people. But this is something to watch while you're waiting for the next episode of The Deuce. The Deuce just premiered on Sunday. I haven't watched it yet, but Tina and I decided to watch this, and I'm kind of preparing to watch a few episodes of The Deuce when kind of they stack up a little bit.
So this is the final season of The Deuce, right?
Final season.
80s.
Just sounds like somebody's taking a dump every time you say
It totally
The Deuce.
does. Yes, exactly.
But this is the 80s era of it, right?
Yeah, they fast forward 5 years from the last season, and so this is like the early 80s. So expect lots of cocaine, big hair, and off-the-shoulder sweatshirts.
Yeah, and lewd moments. Very lewd
behavior.
Yeah,
yes,
very lewd.
Leg warmers, I hope.
Yeah.
Well, sure. I don't know. Do prostitutes wear leg warmers?
I don't know. Do they? Maybe they do.
I'm sure their ankles are cold.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no kidding.
Their ankles are cold. Well, all right. Excellent. That seems like something to see over there on HBO.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And again, once again, it's on HBO Go, and Mike Myers is the best reason to watch that thing.
All right. Here is a clip of what I watched. It is a series. There's your one hint. I'm not quite done with it. We're waiting for someone in the family to catch up so we can all finish it together. But it is one of my favorite things ever, and I'm going to play it right now. Here you go.
The princess was just sharing a very distressing story.
Celadon, you have to stop. You don't know what you're doing. I know exactly what I'm doing.
I demand you release my paladins.
Release? They are not prisoners. They are volunteers.
They are under my protection. I am the All-Mordra.
Mother, don't.
All right. Any ideas?
Oh, the Dark Crystal.
Yeah, the Dark Crystal Age of
Series.
Resistance. And it is awesome! It is so good. It is so much better than I had expectations for, and I had pretty high expectations. It is...
I will say, though, that clip made it sound like cheap knockoff porn.
like anime. It sounds like anime in a lot of ways, I think.
Just kind of
in the
like,
old mother.
Yeah.
and like it was very kind of rigid. It sounded like.
Oh yeah,
So,
very, very much so.
was
And
like,
I don't know how they
what are you
actually do.
watching?
I don't know how they actually do VO and stuff for the for puppetry and stuff like that. So I don't know what that process is, but I don't think a lot of it is like stage acted at the time.
Right,
But
right.
it is really something else. It's just awesome, and it's perfect for everybody in the family. There are a few harrowing moments, I think. In fact, that's one that was sort of leading to a very harrowing moment. But it is really, really cool. And I don't know what else to say about it except to say if Jim Henson were alive today, I think he would be thrilled at how his vision was adhered to here.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, a lot of people are like, well, wait, is it just all CGI now? No, it's not. It's still very puppet focused. It's still very practical effects, but their budget is outrageous. I mean, it's just so expansive and awesome. There's a lot of outdoor stuff, which you never saw in that movie, but the series is not afraid to take this stuff into some really natural places. But also when they do use CGI, it's always for just to enhance what's already happening in the practical, and it never feels out of place. It's just very, very strong all the way through. Like I said, I haven't finished it. I am curious story-wise what happens, because this is a prequel series, and we know how the movie goes, so something bad must really happen here at the end. But the Skeksis are horrendous. Some of them are just downright awful, and I mean in a good way. Like, they're just the perfect villains. Big cast in this. Eddie Izzard plays one of the Gelflings. He's a kind of a soothsayer guy. You can kind of tell your future. It's not a huge role, but it's great. And Eddie Izzard's very funny, or Izzard, however you say it. Then you got your a whole bunch of people. Captain Lorca from Discovery Season 1's in it. He plays the Emperor. You got a bunch of famous voices all across the board. Cersei's in this thing from Game of Thrones. Can't think of her real name all of a sudden. Lena Headey. That's it.
Yes. Hetty.
She's Hetty.
So is this done by the Jim Henson Studio? And
Yes.
is Jim Henson Studio owned by Disney? No.
Well, no. So
Okay.
so
How
the
does that
Muppets.
work?
So
'Cause Muppets are
the Muppets are owned by Disney. The Muppet
Right.
like is in Kermit and everything
Right.
that. It's still in conjunction. I don't know how the contract is specifically, but it's in conjunction with Henson Studios. So it's always kind of, you can't do one without the other. But in this particular case, this is not a Disney production at all. This is 100% Jim Henson Studios and Netflix.
But I thought Henson was owned by Disney.
No, I don't think.
thought
I
it
mean,
was.
maybe they are, but they're in this particular case. There's no Disney on this thing, so I don't know what the difference is. I have no idea. I don't know how this works, but
Because there was going to be a new Disney or a new Muppet show on the Disney Plus channel. It got
There's
canceled.
still
the last couple days.
no. There's still something happening with the Muppets on the Disney Channel.
yeah, there may be. I don't
Well,
know.
it might
They'll-
be old shows being on there, but the brand new original Disney Plus thing is not happening according to Josh Gad.
So the Henson thing probably works like Pixar now. It's probably very independent in terms of how it functions and works and what it can do. But it's owned by Disney. In fact, maybe it's even more so this way because this has no Disney on it, not even in production credits, and Netflix is the big money. It's the big bankroll on this thing. So I don't know how they arranged it, but it's pretty interesting. So yeah, this is a Netflix exclusive. It was made for Netflix. It is a Netflix production, so it's never going anywhere else. You're not going to see this on that Disney Plus thing. It's neat though. I really like it. I can't get enough of it, and I'll probably watch it again once I'm done with the first watch through because we're just so enjoying
Brian, I'm gonna need to clarify because
Yes.
I'm a big Muppet fan.
Right. No, I'm seeing
they were
that
gonna do
too.
two shows. They were gonna do a streaming like Muppets Live Another Day, and then they were gonna do Muppets Now, which is the more unscripted celebrity guests, and they're still doing that.
That one's still on. Muppets Now is
Yes,
still on.
Muppets Now is still on. The
Okay.
Muppets Live Another Day is gone.
Live Another Day. Starring Daniel Craig with the Muppets.
I'm all for more Muppets. Bring them on. That'd be,
For sure,
that'd be great.
Love the old celebrities. Like, I would love to see so many celebrities on a Muppet show. I loved it when I was a kid and still do. So
okay, here it is. The Jim
Bring it
Henson
on.
Jim Henson Company is privately owned. Disney just licenses the Muppets, so they don't own them outright.
Oh, interesting.
Henson's kids run Jim Henson Workshop, and if this is what we can expect from them, I could not be more excited, because this is something else, man.
They're treating the franchise well.
And it's not even that movie was weird. You always got the impression like Jim Henson just had this fantasy idea and he really wanted to do it, and it felt like everybody else thought he was crazy. You know, it always had this cloud around it of like, oh, that's Jim Henson's weird movie, right? That's him doing his strange thing. And you could say a little bit about that, like Labyrinth was kind of strange in a lot of ways, and, you know, some of his other non-Muppet things. But this just takes that vision and explodes it and makes it all... I mean, just immediately the movie is just still important, but it's just pushed to the side and it says, no, move out of the way. This is what we meant to do in the first place. It's really something. I really like it.
My kids were too scared to watch it because I was like, oh, it's PG, let's watch it. And they're like, ah!
They might be too, like the movie. It's weird, and I don't think it's for little kids. I think that if, you know, it depends on the kid, obviously, but I think
it really does depend on the kid.
Yeah, and I also think family watching it's just perfect for that. And it's just, in some ways, it's Game of Thrones level intrigue and fantasy. They really strike a balance between what I want out of a kind of high fantasy, honestly, and also the fact that this is puppets and it's meant for the family, and, you know, it's not, you know, we're not going to get some scene with Lena Headey walking down the street naked while people yell shame at her.
Shame.
It's and there are moments of it that are just like, whoa, that is unbelievably cool what you just did, and also I can't believe that was a puppet. Like, just amazing stuff. So highly recommend it. Highest recommendation I can make, actually. This might be my favorite TV thing of the year so far.
Wow.
I mean, there's lots of, that's hard to say because there's so much and you forget about things you've seen. Like, I still think Mindhunter is probably the best series on Netflix, but I don't know. For a one season, probably this is all we're going to get sort of thing. I don't know if there's anything better than this. It's really, really good. All right. Nicole, it's your turn.
Okay. So I will let you guys know that we've kind of pulled back on TV at school time, and we're having some discipline.
Yeah, Mark is
challenges.
a real problem.
But so we're not watching a lot of TV right now. We're all kind of on a fast, but we are letting Mateo, when he earns it, watch some interesting TV. So this is a show that
I watch more Better Call Saul.
I want to see what happens to Mike Ehrmantraut.
He's really into this TV show right now, and I had no idea of the actors, quote unquote actors in it. I want to share it with you guys.
All right, here it is. Hit and play.
Watch this. It's gonna drive right over me. It's gonna crush me.
That's kid stuff. Just watch. Monster trucks. The biggest, meanest, and most powerful pickup trucks you'll ever see.
All right, so it's kids doing monster truck
from
stuff.
Hasbro.
So this is from the 90s, I think, like the late 90s. It was a TV show for kids, and so Mateo's really starting to move from cartoons to seeing kids on TV. Like, he wants to see himself in TVs, in the TV. So this is Popular Mechanics for kids, PMK for short, as they'll tell you. But he's watching this show because he loved Brainchild on Netflix. So I was trying to find him some educational TV. So there's 4 seasons that you can watch for free through Amazon, and it's through IMDb. Did you know that IMDb streams a whole bunch of stuff for free?
No.
I'm reminded about that every single time I pull up IMDb, and I never do it.
So this is one of the shows that they put out there for free, and it's, you know, old. It's blocky, you know, the way that the formatting is. So you can have, but they go through a whole bunch of cool stuff, and they.
It's like
the
me and
first
Brian.
episode-
Me and Brian are kind of old and blocky. I get it. It's fine.
Yeah, we are.
It's fine.
But like they go through and look at underground tunnels. They went through special effects, and it's all like that 90s. I'm expecting Tony Hawk to show up somewhere, kind of thing. But here's what I was surprised at: the two hosts, a boy and a girl. One is Jay, because I was hearing this kid talk, and I'm like, wow, that really looks like Jay Bruchel or whatever, Seth Rogen's friend. And it's him as a kid on this show.
I gotta see who that is, because I don't
Weird.
know.
I don't know who that
He's
is
like
either.
he's the voice of Hiccup on How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh,
yeah, okay. Yeah, he was in This Is the End. He's basically the one in This Is the End that you
Yes.
don't recognize.
Oh.
And then
That isn't James Franco or
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Jay Bouchel, I don't know. How
Say
do you
it, say it. No,
No,
say
no,
it.
no, no.
it's
Go
you.
ahead. You're
Yeah,
close. Yeah, go ahead.
Brochel.
There you go.
Brichel.
Sure, that's the
Ra-
erotic journey
Baruchel.
from Milan to
Baruchel.
Minsk. Yeah, that's it.
So that's who I recognized. But then I was doing research on the show, and I had no idea that the girl is Alicia Cuthbert, the girl next door.
Alicia Cuthbert.
The girl who got her legs stuck in a bear trap in that first season of 24.
Yeah. She's
is that
also
Jack Bauer's daughter. Yeah.
Oh, Jack Bauer's daughter.
she's also
So
very
she's-
naked in that movie, by the way, the one Nicole's talking about.
No, she doesn't get.
Yes,
naked
she
in it.
is. Yes, she does. Doesn't she?
No.
Come on. The girl next door thing? Doesn't she?
No nudity in that film.
Oh. I thought she did. She's a porn actor in that thing.
She is a porn actress, but you don't see her.
Oh.
And the girl next door, yeah, it's a clean family.
I like how certain of that Brian was. You were so certain of it.
Why do you think I rented it, for Pete's sake? Oh my God, she's a porn actress. There's no nudity in this.
Yeah,
Toss in the
guess not.
garbage.
I'm thinking of something
But
else.
I just wanted to recommend it, especially if you have younger kids, because it's actually a really great show. Even though it's a little dated, it still goes through a lot of neat things from a kid's perspective. So
All right. Oh, Body
Yeah.
Double says someone in the chat, by the way.
Yeah,
no, that's cool. She did look
Okay,
familiar
actually.
when I saw the video rolling. I'm like, how do I know that face? How do I know that face? I'm like, oh, okay, it's her from that thing. Well, that's cool. You know what? It's interesting you say that about Mateo's age. There's a certain age my kids all hit too where they would continue to be lifelong animation fans. They continue to love it.
right.
But there's a point where they're like, they need to see representations of themselves
Right.
in ways that aren't just goofy animation, and that's an interesting thing that's unique to a whole like it's like the last 75 years really. It's unique, right? Like it's like
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw the post that I put up of Mateo last night, because the other show he wanted to watch, he was like, I really want to watch American Ninja Warrior. I'm like, really? So we started looking, and and I was like, oh, there's American Ninja Warrior Junior. And he goes, oh, yes. And so now he's climbing walls. Literally.
The kids are climbing the walls.
I look up and I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm going to be a Ninja Warrior. I'm like, all right,
that's
dude.
awesome.
So now I got to look into gymnastics.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Take advantage of that, and
But
get
he's-
them.
He saw these kids doing these amazing things, and he's like, I could do that. So
Cool.
it's kind of a neat phase that he's in
Yeah.
right now.
that's
Keeps
great.
them inside, keeps them away from being inside playing video games all day.
I always thought Nick would like see basketball and get excited about it. I never could get him excited. And he's tall enough. He's got the perfect build for it. He could play basketball. He just never cared. So this is cool. You should like Brian said, take advantage of this. Get him into some classes. See if he really likes it. You may have a little athlete on your hand that also likes monster trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
So Taxi Cab in the chat room, you reminded me. He just said, did anyone watch Happy Endings? Alicia is it Cuthbert? She was
Cuthbert,
in the. So Happy Endings is one of my all-time favorite sitcoms that was like so underrated, and then it
Really
got canceled.
funny
I was
sitcom.
very
Great
sad.
ensemble. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a great show. I think you can watch that on Hulu.
Wouldn't be surprised 'cause I think it was ABC.
Yeah, ABC. 2013.
She was
it's like-
also one of the sisters in that in Love Actually, when the British guy goes to the States, he goes to Wisconsin thinking that he's gonna, have nothing but sex all the time, and he ends up in that house with like what's her face from American Pie and January Jones and Alicia Cuthbert is in there as well.
I don't remember that. I like her though.
Did you watch Happy Endings?
No, never saw it.
Oh, that's a great show. You should watch it. It's really funny. It also
Mm-hmm.
has one of the Wayans' sons. I don't know who.
Yeah.
So this isn't the movie Happy Endings. It's a very different thing.
No.
Okay.
It's a show.
All right.
It was a sitcom for like 4 or 5 seasons. I thought.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
I started watching it because I think I was really pregnant and sick in bed, and I was just stuck in bed, and it happened to record, and I just got sucked into it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the best show.
It had Casey Wilson, who was was on SNL for a while, and she's hilarious, and I'm surprised we don't see more of her these days.
Yeah,
She
I'm
was
sad.
great.
That's how I felt about Better Off Ted.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I love that thing. 2 seasons was not enough. We were robbed. Freaking network television can bite me. All right.
Along with what was the Pie movie or Pie show? Pushing Daisies.
Pushing
that was
Daisies.
another one. That I
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all those people went on to really cool things, but still, that thing was rad. Yeah, it bums me out. Like, what these shows, you know what it was too? It's timing. If Better Off Ted would have shifted ahead a few years, that likely would have been one of those shows you'd see Netflix or Hulu pick up and keep going with. Like, you see these shows get rescued all the time. I think we would have seen that happen with a lot of these kinds of shows, but they were just right there in that weird space of 2012 to 2013, 2014 maybe, where that wasn't happening yet. You know?
that was earlier than that.
2013 is that show.
No.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I just looked it up. 2013, ABC.
I can't believe it was that recent. Jeez.
I thought it was. I thought it was like 2009.
No, not that old. Better Off Ted was that old, if that's what you mean. Better Off Ted was like 2009 or 10 or something, but yeah, it was like.
By the way,
13.
there's rumors of a Happy Endings revival as recently as a month ago. Yeah, talking about that on Hollywood Reporter.
Now, see, maybe it could happen. Maybe miracles do happen.
Oh, that's such a. So catch up now. Watch it. And then
Catch up now.
Be sad when it doesn't happen.
Or mustard.
Catch up now, mustard later. Nicole, it's always good to have you here. One nice thing is Nicole puts all this on her Twitter account at Nicole Spag, so she'll remind you what we talked about in case you missed it. And you should be following her there anyway. And we'll be back next Wednesday to do this all over again.
Sounds good.
Bye, Nicole. Thanks. Bye. Can't hang up on her. Here we go. All right. Well, we've done it again. We've done a show. We got to the end of it. Yeah. It felt good. Felt right.
Right.
You know?
Got to the finish line with 7 minutes to spare of 11 o'clock, even though we shoot for 90.
Yeah, you're right. We somehow made it through. And that means we'll do it again tomorrow. So come back then for more. For some reason, I left Wendy's segment in here today. That's weird in the notes. I don't know why I did that. Before we get out of here,
let's bring her in. We got time.
Yeah, let's just get her in here. Why not?
Big...
Turns out last week she had. She said her Thursday was so nuts, and she was feeling all bad about missing. I said, "Don't worry, it's all good. We'll just,
never feel bad." Yeah, exactly.
None of our guests should ever feel bad if they have something come up.
No,
we ask of them to be here in the morning, and it's weird. And
except for Jury, but none of the other guests should feel bad if they can't make it.
Yeah, F that guy and his phone call on Tuesday.
Just put on pants, Jury.
Well, at least I played his segment header twice this week, so
right, exactly. Yes,
he can't complain. All right, before we get out of here and do a song, a reminder that this show is crowdfunded by you over at patreon.com/TMS. Yes, that's right. You are the ones who do it. And if you like pre and post show banter, I'm putting that all up for free on the Patreon now. So check that out, patreon.com/TMS. That's available to anybody at any level over at patreon.com/TMS. Everything else can be found at frogpants.com/TMS. And today, you already said I know, but 1 o'clock, today.
Mhm.
Coverville.
1 o'clock Coverville, yep. At twitch.tv/Coverville, Songs of Leonard Cohen. And then right after that, we time it perfectly so you can jump right into DTNS right after you get your music fix.
Yep. Go for your music, stay for the tech.
That's right.
That's it, I think. Do you have a song for us now?
Of course, it's my job.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, a voice from chat rooms past, but still a daily listener. B4 Tank Girl wrote in, said, "Bonjour, Scatter and Brain. 'Tis I, B4 Tank Girl. 10th time requester, long time lurker. I humbly request sound system by Buck09. This goes out to Blake, miss you, buddy, the Spagnolos, the Durans, and all of the other ska fans out there. Stay baconated. Boobies."
Boobies. Hey, you know what?
All
I'll give her a boobies. Hold on. Why not? Okay, here
Sure.
you go. Yeah, I like an occasional. No.
You want 2 scoops of Haagen-Dazs French vanilla boobies.
I don't know where the
What is that? What is that from?
That's from that cartoon on Netflix.
The Big Mouth?
Big Mouth, and it's what's her name from SNL, and I can't think of her name. She's very funny though.
Oh, it's got to be. I know who you're talking about.
That voice she does.
McKinnon. Yeah.
No, it's not Kate McKinnon. It's
Oh, it's not McKinnon.
No.
Oh, let's hear it again.
It's an old one. It's what's her name from a long time ago. I can't think of her name. Chat room. Maya
Play it
Rudolph.
again.
Maya
Rudolph. Oh, gotcha. Of course. I forgot that she was in that. Yeah.
She's great. I'll play it one more time because it's funny.
You want 2 scoops of Haagen-Dazs French vanilla boobies.
That's the lady hormone monster. She's really good.
I still have yet to see that cartoon.
It's really funny. It's really funny. It's very not for kids, but it's a hoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should watch it.
Cool.
Anyway.
All right. Well, let's get to the song. Trisha requested Buck09 and their cover of Operation Ivy's sound system. This comes from their 2006 album Barfly. Here is Buck09.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Come on back then. Now. You hear?
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Oh, I don't have anything to click. Hold on. Here we go.
This car smells weird.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, he got shot right in for. Did Nicolas Cage shoot him?
I feel like that last part was from something totally different. All right. Let's see. We're back on the Patreon prep file. Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Just did a show. Can you tell? Can they tell? I wonder if they can tell that we just did a show. Are we any different?
We're exhausted. They hear it in our voices that we're just wiped out.